everyone, I'm Jocelyn, and I am grateful you're here. You're listening to the Starting with Gratitude podcast. This is a safe space intended to host meaningful conversations exploring all topics of the human experience. Every conversation starts with gratitude and remains rooted in gratitude. After you listen, make sure to join the community by subscribing and sharing. I am so happy you have joined us. Hello, beautiful podcast community. It is your girl, your host, Jocelyn. And in this moment, I am feeling honestly so immensely grateful for my 27-year-old self. And I am currently reflecting on that and thinking about that because this is my last week being my 27-year-old self. And it honestly brings a tenderness to my heart as I reflect on that reality because my 27-year-old self is so special to me. This past year has been the most healing and awakening year of my entire life. And all of that is due to my 27-year-old self. My 27-year-old self is completely responsible to me having experienced such a healing and awakening year. And I just love her so much. I appreciate her, value her, honor her so much through her highs, through her lows, through her darkness, through her light. She is truly the embodiment of self-love, self-liberation, self-care, self-worthiness, self-awareness, self-preservation, and self-accountability. Just so much that I really just honor. And oh man, in this episode, I figured that I would share a journaling entry with you where I expressed some gratitude for my 27-year-old self. So I decided that I'm going to be spending this last week with my 27-year-old self in pure childlike joy and playfulness and presence. I really just want to spend these last 7 days with her fully present in the now moment and doing things that feel fun. Because reflecting back on this past year, oh my goodness, though I am immensely, eternally, infinitely grateful for it, and all that my 27-year-old self did for me, which we'll get into, it was pretty heavy. Most of it was pretty heavy, deep in healing and in shadow work and in releasing and in confronting and studying. It was a lot. So my 27-year-old self deserves this last week to be light. That said, I'm going to be taking myself on a date each day for the last 7 days leading up to my birthday. And I am going to be filming it and dropping a video on my channel regarding my last week being 27. So look out for that if interested. In this episode, I just want to share this journal entry with you all, an excerpt of it because it's quite long. But given that I just want to emphasize gratitude for my 27-year-old self, here is some of my gratitude. Thank you. Thank you for the most healing and awakening year of my life. Thank you for opening yourself up so beautifully, so gracefully, so willingly, because it made the journey so much softer. Thank you for the softness. Thank you for choosing ease, choosing acceptance, choosing surrender over and over and over again. Thank you for not only creating a safe space, but for also being fully present in that space. Thank you for all the ways you've allowed the healing and the awakening to take place. And thank you for all the ways you invested in it too. Thank you for investing in so much learning. Thank you for being such a devoted student with a devoted practice. Thank you for being such a gifted and patient teacher. Thank you for your guidance and thank you for seeking out guidance when needed. Thank you for allowing my best to be enough. Thank you for accepting me as I am at any and every given moment. Thank you for gifting me solitude. Thank you for all the times you actively chose to relax through the discomfort. Thank you for helping me confront my shadows. Thank you for consistently checking in on my needs and my desires. Thank you for all the intentional seeds you planted and for fertilizing the soil first. Thank you for listening with your heart. Thank you for observing your mind. Thank you for the immensely expanded conscious awareness. Thank you for dancing with me, for playing with me, for creating with me, for trying new things with me. Thank you for prioritizing me. Thank you for all the quality time. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for honoring me, my growth, and my worthiness. Thank you for always having my best interests in mind. Thank you for embracing me through so much loss and heartache. Thank you for strengthening my faith. Thank you for genuinely remaining pure and kind-hearted after all you went through. Thank you for seeing the God in me. So I am going to leave that there because there's so much more that I can thank my 27-year-old self for. But oh my goodness, I'm just going to emphasize again that she did that. She is that girl. She is a queen, a goddess. For real. For real. Oh my goodness. I'm going to look back at this year in awe for the rest of my life because the way that she handled that, whoo, she deserves an award. Where's the trophy? But for real, I'm just so grateful for this past year, man. And I also just want to acknowledge the fact that I know I'm not the only one who experienced such a healing and awakening year. I know I'm not the only one who really, really prioritized themselves and allowed themselves to awaken, to expand, to change, to evolve, to let go, to heal. And if this is you, I'm just so proud of you. And I'm also so grateful for you because in our own individual healing, we impact the world and we make a difference more than we can even fathom. Just energetically, we are so powerful in that way that when we vibrate higher, when we learn our lessons and step out of old karmic cycles and step into new ones, we shift the world. We impact the collective. Our human family benefits from our own individual healing. So if you resonate with this, if you resonate with the gratitude that I'm expressing to my 27-year-old self, let it speak to you as well. I feel like right now in this moment, as I record this, I'm not as emotional as I feel I'm going to be as the week progresses and as I have less and less days as my 27-year-old self. But I'm really going to be spending again this week in the present moment and also in deep reflection to really just acknowledge everything that I experienced because I don't think we do that enough. You know, we don't take enough time to really sit back and reflect on the growth, reflect on the overcomings, reflect on the accomplishments that aren't necessarily professional, that are, you know, the spiritual accomplishments, the energetic accomplishments, the mental, emotional, physical accomplishments deserve to be acknowledged. So as I do that, I'm going to be writing and creating, and I'm really looking forward to sharing more on this past year with you all. I definitely, you know, spending this year in so much, not only healing but integration. I was telling a friend that, this year for me really was the year of integration. There have been so many times where I wanted to speak up and share what it was that I was learning at the time or what it was that I was going through at the time, but intuitively I just knew that I just had to be in that moment, and I just had to be focused on the experience. There's a time to be a teacher and there's a time to be a student, and I definitely was called to be a student this whole year. So I'm really excited as I continue to transition out of this year and evolve into my higher self, my most authentic self, and get to a space where I feel called to teach and to share, which I'm feeling called to do that now. And I knew stepping into 27 that it was going to be a year where I really had to prioritize my healing, because I felt called to be of service, to be a teacher, to be a guide for others. But I again knew intuitively that I had a lot of healing to do. I knew that I had to go through the shadow work that I went through if I really wanted to be a teacher, to be a guide, to be of service in the way that I am now showing up. And again, just want to shout out and give thanks to my 27-year-old self and the seeds that she planted, because it is because of her that I have these spaces, these safe spaces to not only continue being a student, but to share my knowledge and to step in as this teacher, as this guide, as this leader that I know I'm being called to be and to become. And so, it was my 27-year-old self that created and stayed consistent with this podcast, with my YouTube channel, with my digital membership community. I'm just so grateful, man, that I expanded my accessibility. I expanded the ways in which I express myself and my gifts. And I hope that you all sincerely benefit from what it is that I create and that I share. And the fact that you are here listening to this podcast, I just thank you so much for affirming my 27-year-old self and for sharing space with me and for supporting me. I am so immensely grateful for you. And you are just as significant to this past year and to my journey as everything that I mentioned in this episode. So thank you so much. Again, if you resonated with any of the gratitude that I expressed to my 27-year-old self from my journal entry, thank you, thank you, thank you. And shout out to you, shout out to us. Congratulations to us for prioritizing ourselves, healing ourselves, and taking accountability for the way that we show up, not only for ourselves, but for the world. So, oh man, what a year. What a year. And looking forward to the year ahead for sure. Let's continue on this beautiful healing journey with grace. I look forward to seeing you in my next episode, my friends. Peace and love.